Hello, I am Barendipitous, and I'm going to be talking about that new Red Raptor animated short. Before I'd like, it's really cool, and I'm going to explain why. Before I do, I want to address the Jormungandr in the room, or at least that I see. Um, I know that this animated short is only a minute long, 60 seconds, almost exactly, and I know that maybe there might be some people out there who are disappointed in it because it didn't show anything necessarily very new or like very obviously new. And there were, maybe defensive or other devs might have hyped it up a bit. But personally, I'm not disappointed at all, and I think they should, and I think they're right in hyping it up because it's a really good animation and it's a really cool depiction of Red Raptor ascending into Brawlhalla. And I'll explain why and all that kind of stuff. I just realized I forgot to add a page here that I'm going to refer to later. All right, there we go. I'll refer to that in just a moment, in a little bit. But first things first. You can watch the Red Raptor's Ascension animated short on the Brawlhalla YouTube channel, but I'll just show it very briefly here, just so you can see. So, here we go. Wow. And that is it. The rest of it is black screen. So, I imagine to those who aren't very familiar with Red Raptor's lore, maybe that doesn't look like much. It looks like a very kind of like tragic scene, but and maybe you remember Red Raptor's original trailer. And anyway, we'll go into all that. But again, this is from the official Brawlhalla YouTube channel. You should definitely check it out. Well, I guess you've kind of already checked it out, but watch it for yourself. It's really cool. You may or may not remember the original story trailer for Red Raptor. I'm just going to just kind of refresh your memory. I'm only going to show the first about 30 seconds of this. And well, yeah, and then there's a bit at the very end because there's some like gameplay and stuff. But again, this is on the official Brawlhalla YouTube channel. There we go, and then it goes into some gameplay, and we'll skip a little bit here. And then it shows Red Raptor is the newest legend, and all that. Yep, there we go. All right, cool. So there's that. Perfect. So yeah, just kind of refresh your memory of kind of like what the setting is. So, and you can go onto his lore either in the game or on brawlhalla.com/legends, and you can read all this for yourself. You can read all this for yourself. I'm not going to read this whole thing. But essentially, Daizendoro, the name of Red Raptor, is a member of the Raptor Force, which is made up of Red Raptor, Golden Goshawk, Silver Harrier, Black Buzzard, and Blue Osprey. And they were all they're all Sentai, kind of like the power. If you're familiar with Power Rangers or similar shows like that, obviously you can see the parallels there, and of course lots of other Sentai shows. There's also a little bit of Pacific Rim or Gundam, that kind of like mech fighting or Megazord fighting. Against big giant aliens, all that going on. So that is Red Raptor's world. That's his lore. But there's also very much a tragic edge to it because his other friends, his other 4 friends, were defeated by each of these. These are Dark Heart Kaiju, by the way, and that superpowered kaiju, superpowered by Dark Heart. And there is definitely a lot more going on with Dark Heart and Terminus and Loki and all of that. I've made videos about that before. I'm not going to get into that right now. Goodness knows this video is going to be long enough. But anyway, those kaiju destroyed Red Raptor's team and imprisoned the spirits of the pilots. So it's not just that those other pilots are dead; they are imprisoned in, I believe, in Terminus itself, Loki's realm where Dark Heart comes from. So. And also, what's interesting is that core that Red Raptor ripped from his robot, which Garuda, the Garuda's heart, that's his orb in the game, that is specifically an anti-Dark Heart core. This is the first time we've ever heard of something called anti-Dark Heart before. Anyway, and so of course Red Raptor would had perished in that. But here's the important thing. As he stepped into the afterlife, Daisen, Red Raptor, made yet another sacrifice. Turning away from the heavenly road that would lead to his ancestors, some lonely instinct made him accept the Valkyrie's offer of Valhalla. Now Koji has become a mentor, Vector an ally, and Petra a clue in Red Raptor's new mission. In Valhalla, he will hunt down this Loki, unravel the mystery of the Dark Heart, and rescue his lost team one final time. So he's trying to find the souls of his lost friends, his lost team members from the Raptor Force, and he believes that Loki and Darkheart are kind of like, are involved in all of this, right? So lots of stuff going on here. So what does this have to do with this trailer here? Well, first of all, we see that he is putting down the helmets of his 4 friends, and I believe we can see exactly what they are. We have, from left to right, we have Silver Harrier, Blue Osprey, Golden Goshawk, and Black Buzzard. I know this last one looks like a red helmet, but I think, especially if you look at this angle here, this is definitely a black helmet that is being lit by the red sunset, essentially. So red, silver, blue, gold, and black. That is the Raptor Force. Also, if you see, and these are the individuals that you would see kind of, I don't know if it's like his memory or is like channeling the, his power of friendship or something. His boots down signature, when it hits, you see a cloud and you see people kind of like, shooting out of that. That's the rest of the Raptor Force. So he's laying down these 4, I guess their bodies were not recovered, their spirits are imprisoned, probably in Terminus. So he's laying these down and kind of like taking a moment to remember them, right? Now I love how part of Red Raptor's design is that his helmet is cracked from all of this. You can see his eyes. One of his eyes, you can really see the emotion even while you're playing. You kind of like see the emotion that this has left on him, the impression. And so then, of course, as he's kind of basically these are his like final living moments. So as we go on here, I'm gonna sort of like go sort of frame by frame here a little bit. We see of course these wings spring out from behind him, almost as if those are his own wings. But they're not. They're not his wings. They're the wings of a Valkyrie. Because he basically is, just slumps down. And as he does, you see a Valkyrie is catching him from behind. So we don't see the rest of the Valkyrie's body or her head or anything. We see her arms catching him. And so then she kind of like takes his limp body and flies up to go up to Valhalla. Anyway, but yeah, absolutely beautiful image. This whole like ascension thing where he is ascending to the next step in his journey, to his next goal, and it is the Valkyrie that is kind of like bringing him up there. But yeah, I am progressing in all of these frames, but yeah, lifts him. There we go. Lifts him up, and he's sort of like hanging there limply. His arms and legs are hanging down. And so yeah, they go up. There we go. There's the blur frames. There's the smear frames that of them flying. So then some of the Valkyrie's wings, wing feathers, float down and lands among these these helmets. And then for some reason, when it lands, it kind of like turns. It looks red to me, or it might be black. And I'm guessing this is kind of like it just kind of like loses its power. It's kind of like when you cut Rapunzel's hair, like it turns back to brown, right? I think it's that kind of thing, where it's not it loses sort of like the magic, I guess. So anyway, and of course that's the whole thing. A couple of little details that to keep in mind here. I think the biggest one, of course, is this weapon right here. This kind of like kunai dagger looking thing. Well, first of all, I think this is probably the first time that we've actually seen all of the Raptor Force helmets in clear view. I think in this one we only saw one of them, kind of like in the sand here. I believe this would have to be Golden Goshawk, because of course we see that same helmet, right here. But we never really saw any of their weapons. But this is certainly not Red Raptor's weapons. He has an orb and also his boots of the orb from his mech. So this looks to kind of share colors with Silver Harrier. So I guess Silver Harrier had these kind of knife things. And then I also noticed there's this little thing down here in the lower left corner next to Silver Harrier's helmet. I'm not 100% sure what that might be. It looks like part of a blaster to me, because like if you see, if you remember like these crazy like Power Ranger weapons where there's like these cool, sleek spiky designs on them or something. This could be part of a blaster, or maybe part of a blade or something. That could be a handle for something. I'm not sure. Also, it's the fact that it looks green. I don't know who it would belong to, really. But it seems like parts of weapons and armor are kind of like lying here, which is very interesting to me because we've never really seen that before. This tells me that, apart from this being a really cool animated short, I wonder if this is the Brawlhalla devs kind of teasing something in the future. Maybe, obviously the next legend is probably going to be announced in the near future because we've had Priya for a number of months now. So since Priya was the first Chakram legend, it would make sense that the next legend would be Chakram something. So this could be either part of a Chakram, or it could be Katars. Maybe the next legend will be Chakram Katars, and it's going to be, I don't know, Silver Harrier, or just another, or just like other Raptors or something like that. But here's the thing. If this is teasing a cosmetic of the other members of Raptor Force, how does that make sense with the idea that that canonically in the lore they are imprisoned by these Darkheart things in Terminus? So I'm very curious to know what this might mean exactly, if this is indeed teasing something. So these are kind of thoughts that I've had about this. Also, I wanted to point out that this Valkyrie right here, we actually know exactly who that is. You may have suspected that this is Brynn, and in fact, that is correct. If you go into the Meet the Legends and you look at a legend, the stats you have for the legend, you can see these tags here. Some of these tags have to do with esports, such as 2024 BCX 1v1 top 8 or something like that. Others have to do with like the weapons they have, like these tags help with like missions, like daily missions or battle pass missions and things like that, to help you understand who counts for what. But what I want to point out here is Brynn Chosen. Okay, there are several legends that have the Brynn Chosen tag, which shows that Brynn is the one who brought them to Valhalla. I believe other legends who have this include Taros, Petra, and Asuri, maybe a couple others as well. Because Brynn tends to choose rather unorthodox legends that most Valkyries would overlook. So this is Brynn right here. This is absolutely Brynn carrying Red Raptor up to Valhalla. And I also like to imagine that, this is like the moment he dies, and people who die, like most of the legends in Brawlhalla died in battle, like unless the lore says otherwise, or they're a native of Asgard. I assume that's how they got to Valhalla. It says here that Daisen chose to turn away from like his normal afterlife. Like his ancestors have some kind of heavenly road that leads to like where his ancestors are in their afterlife, but he decided to forego that to go to Valhalla to try to find Loki and save his friends, right? So clearly, before this moment, Bryn made him an offer and he accepted it. So what I'm guessing happened is before he died and would be carried to Valhalla, he wanted a moment to himself to kind of like, you know, properly maybe not bury his friends because there's not much to bury, but at least, you know, make a little memorial for them and remember them for a moment, and then he would sort of collapse in Bryn's arms like that, and then she would carry him over. Such a cool moment there, and it is my hope that my sort of analysis videos like this can help you appreciate not just the animation, because like doing these sort of like, you know, freeze frame analysis videos helps me to kind of like appreciate the artistry of the animation itself, frame by frame and everything like that. Like you see smear frames, you see like the cinematography, kind of the cinematography of it and the direction of it and everything, and really appreciate the art for what it is. But also, it's my hope that these videos kind of help you see, you know, what I see, and I think what the developers see as well. There's a reason that developers were excited about this. Yes, it could be teasing something to come in the future, but even if it isn't, this is just something really cool. This really cool moment in Red Raptor's lore that they wanted to capture for one reason or another, and they captured it beautifully. I did see that, like in the few hours after this this short released, I did see some people being confused about, like, you know, what's going on here. And so that's why I wanted to make this video to kind of explain these are his other friends who are trapped, whose souls are trapped in Terminus, and he decided to sacrifice, you know, his own normal afterlife to go to Valhalla to try to save his friends. And this is just kind of like this moment of, you know, we finally see all of the helmets together, and a few weapons for some reason, and yeah, Bryn carrying him up. So, and just the way this was depicted as well, just the fact that like it's these wings that are just like blooming behind him and everything, gorgeous. And I do know that the word ascension here, Red Raptor's ascension, is very interesting because we just, you know, we have the ascended Nyx skin. Essentially, this whole, like, you know, this group of cosmetics that are all sort of related to each other, that are meant to show Nyx at the height of her power. And so when you see a word like ascension being tossed around by the developers after that, that does lead me to believe that this might tease a Red Raptor, an ascended Red Raptor skin. I'm not sure what that would look like. Maybe that would be more like Red Raptor, like maybe the skin would involve, like, it's actually like 5 different skins in total, like all the Raptor Force or something like that. You get to, like, you know, swap between them. I don't know. I have no idea. That would be pretty cool though. But even if this doesn't have anything to do with an ascended skin necessarily, like what we've seen with ascended Nyx, I think Red Raptor's Ascension is a good title for what we're seeing here, because I can tell that this right here, this is like, I think this and I think this moment here and this moment here are the two main ideas to take away from this trailer. These two right here, especially this one. So yeah, if you have any other questions about Brawlhalla lore in general or about this animated short, definitely let me know. We are less than a month away from the Brawlhalla graphic novel. Oh, that reminds me. One final thing I wanted to kind of like bring up. This may not be related, but some attention to there was some. Here we go. So if you notice here on the cover of the graphic novel, Nyx is holding this feather. Nyx is holding a feather, as if like this was what this is related to what's drawing her to Valhalla for some reason. Now, my theory initially was that this was, you know, probably from some like feathered serpent deity from Queen Nine, like the Jaguar Kingdom or something, because that's what brought Nyx over here in the first place. She was looking for the rest of the Jaguar Kingdom pantheon. But Also, the fact that like this trailer focused on these feathers falling down also makes me wonder if maybe they're teasing something about the graphic novel as well, because Bryn is like featured on this cover, and you know Bryn having Valkyrie wings would have feathers, so maybe this is Bryn's feather. I don't know. I should have had my theorizing hat on for that. But also another thought I had about this is that in a way, all five of the Raptor Force are here, kind of in a sense. This dark feather here is kind of like representing Red Raptor's space in here, in that he's he's with his friends in spirit, and he's trying to help them, help reunite for real. So I think that's kind of what this feather is sort of representing, at least in this short right now. I just love the imagery. There's kind of like this gap between the two the two halves of this group, and you know, nothing of Red Raptor is here, but a feather from the Valkyrie that carried him off is here. And the fact that it's kind of like a dark reddish, because each of these are named after birds, right? So you can kind of see this as being symbolically one of Red Raptor's feathers, so that he's kind of there in spirit. So anyway, a lot of really cool narrative and symbolic kinds of things going on here. But if nothing else, I think we should definitely be on the lookout for the potential for maybe some of these characters showing up in the game more than just a signature in the game or something, because the fact that these weapons are here does make me wonder. Or it could be nothing, who knows. But usually with something like this, the developers make stuff like this as a combination of something cool to make and potentially teasing something in the future. To conclude this, I do want to kind of, as far as the whole teasing thing goes, I do want to remind you of kind of something from an older trailer that was teasing something else, as well, to kind of like support the idea that this is indeed that this is to kind of support the idea that this is indeed not an unprecedented thing, where they put teasers in their trailers before that kind of like hints at something in the future. So here we go. So like this moment from the 2020 animated short. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's right. And yeah, this animated short right here. Let's see. There was something, I'm pretty sure. Oh gosh, where is it? I could have sworn there was like, I was pretty sure Magyar was in here somewhere. Because here you see a bunch of other legends and stuff, and I think Mako was one of the newest legends at the time. But I thought in this scene you saw. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, you see this down here? That's Magyar. Magyar was not released at the time that this trailer was out, but Magyar was certainly being developed, or at least the visual style was solidified. And Magyar was just here. And then, of course, we had Bryn and Sir Roland, and there was speculation that this was Hypernia down here. We don't know. But in any case, yeah. So I'm just saying, sometimes the developers like to tease stuff like that. So that's why I was speculating that maybe this is a teaser as well. So my mouse died, so I'm just going to plug it in here. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for now, like for real. Why is my mouse not working? There we go. I think that's it for now, for real. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward, by the way, feel free to comment and let me know what your thoughts are about this. I think this is really cool, and especially with the graphic novel coming up in less than a month. Look out for some videos about that, by the way. I'm excited to do some read-throughs and theorizing about that. But yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and all the best.